Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lex from Category Wins. We're here today to talk to you about how to quantify key product and range attributes in major retailers. Um, and we're going to go through a spirits case study. I'm the commercial director of Category Wins, which is a sales category agency that helps businesses in the FMCG world, whether it's large or small, um, generate transformative growth. Um, that could also include retailers as well. So we work with retailers, with producers, and our primary asset really is our category expertise. And that category expertise has led us to creating this tool, which has been really useful for us um, over the years. And we've decided to kind of break that out to more people. So we hope that some of you can also benefit from the use of the tool. We've had a lot of interest in it already, so thanks for those that have already reached out and got in touch with us prior to the meeting. I'm going to go on to pass you on to Dave, who's going to explain a little bit about how it's come about, a bit more about us, and then we'll get into the webinar.
Okay, thanks, Lex. Welcome, everybody. My name's Dave Marston. I'm the head of category for the business. I've been in category management now for 30 years in Shopper Insights as well. Our business, Category Wins, was founded in 2012 with the sole purpose of bringing category and shopper expertise to small and medium-sized businesses as well as large businesses. And one of the things that we're passionate about is doing what's right for shoppers and enhancing range and products and credibility from a shopper perspective to improve the overall shopping experience for shoppers. So we created RESolution, which looks at a category from a shopper's perspective of when they're standing in front of the fixture, and hopefully you'll find some interesting insights from today. And I'm going to hand you back to Lex, who's going to tell you about a bit more about that.
Thanks, Dave. I think from a sales perspective, from a commercial perspective, we're always trained to talk about features and benefits or product attributes. Um, but what's interesting is there's no real way of kind of classifying how your product attributes are um, favorable versus whatever's in the category. And I think that's something that we really were looking to address with this. We're going to go through some more detail. We're going to talk about spirits case study, and spirits is a really interesting category to look at because the dynamics of the spirits category is very changeable, very interesting. There's a lot going on in the category. It's a huge category, lots of players in there, and lots of opportunity for enhancement, improvement of ranges, which we'll talk to you about. If there are any questions, either during the meeting or for those watching the recording, if you have any questions, please do either send questions directly to us via email, via LinkedIn. Anyone who's in the meeting now who has any questions can ask some questions, pop them in the chat, leave us your details, your number or your name, sorry, and your company, and we'll get back to you directly. So going into a little bit about the need for a clarity on shopper attributes. We know that 70% of purchase decisions at the point of purchase are made by shoppers. So when you're looking at this fairly crowded, very long fixture, spirits fixture, it's quite overwhelming. So the attributes of the products really need to stand out when you're looking at that fixture as a shopper. From a marketeer's perspective, the marketeers are used to developing those attributes to make the product stand out. The sales guys are used to selling those benefits to buyers, and the buyers really need to understand those benefits. Why should I have those products in my range? How's it going to help my category? So it's really critical. It's really important that we understand those attributes, but it's not easy to quantify them. So in terms of what we're going to cover today, in terms of what you're going to learn today, we're going to learn why quantifying attributes in a category is really important. We've got a solution to help quantify those attributes. And then we're going to take that view of the spirits category as a live example to give you a really good understanding of how it can be used, We're going to give you a little bit of market landscape insight as a kind of intro into that. Then we're going to get into how quantifying those attributes using the spirits as a case study can help on a number of things like optimizing ranges, spotting gaps and growth opportunities, driving sales and engagement, strengthening listings. We're also going to touch on how you can link trends to ranging opportunities as well. So this is just some of the things that we'll touch on today. Why quantifying attributes in a category is important? Well, if we start off from a retailer's perspective, retailers have to have a differentiated proposition versus their competitive set. Otherwise, there's no reason for anyone to go to that specific retailer. They're building the category in a way that delivers loyalty, delivers shopper retention, and that also delivers on the key corporate objectives as well is really important for retailers. And if they can maximize that, they can maximize shopper choice, shopper satisfaction, and stop or reduce any need for shoppers to go to other stores. So using attributes to kind of better understand the category is fantastic when it comes to, for retailers, category strategy, product assortment, so range reviews, essentially looking at the distribution decisions, what kind of pricing structures we should be thinking, all manner of different things. From a marketeer's perspective, developing brands, developing ranges and products that have core attributes that everyone needs in those products for them to fit on the shelf, but also have something different about them that means that they warrant their space on shelf, point of difference, in other words, that's important to drive shopper engagement purchase. So for marketeers, using using product attributes to help with brand positioning, brand propositions, existing product developments, new product developments, all these kinds of things is important. And then finally, from a sales and a category perspective, classically the role is to evidence to buyers how the product attributes will benefit the category in some way, how introducing your product as a supplier to the range of retailer X is going to benefit the retailer. And buyers need to see that. They need to understand that and need evidence behind that so they have the faith to make those decisions rather than it be, dare I say it, some sales kind of waffle. This is probably the politest way. So again, if we can achieve that, we can help with shopper engagement purchases. And so sales and category managers can really benefit by looking at attributes when it comes to category strategy, ranging in retailers, core ranging, new product development, rationalization, as in evidencing to your buying partners how your product is going to help them. So just want to get into some sort of thinking around what we can and what we can't quantify, because there is loads of good information out. And so we kind of put an analogy almost together to try and help visualize this. So on the left-hand side here, we've got our shopper decision drivers. These are things which our shoppers are thinking about going into a store before they make that decision. So they've got their missions, their needs, they've got their likes and dislikes, products they're familiar with, their demographics of the groups. As an industry, we understand that very well. There's lots of really good businesses, data businesses that do a great job in helping us support our understanding. And when it comes to the outcomes decisions, i.e. the fact purchases have been made, we've also got some brilliant businesses who work there, helping to understand the sales of products, the ranges, the behavior of shoppers, how they interact with a category when it comes to having made a purchase. So, all the likes of Nielsen, Kantar, dunnhumby, all of these fantastic businesses and more. But we have got what we call our grey purchase decision, which is the bit between those two where there isn't the same level of clarity and granularity. We do have clarity clarity around any purchase barriers like price and promotions, those kinds of things. We do have clarity on products in many instances that are present in the category. But what we're lacking, the grey area, don't really understand that well as an industry, is the features and benefits of products within the category that make that category. And it's critical to understand because the missions and the needs of a shopper, based on that, the shopper then looks at attributes and sees which attributes fulfill those missions and needs and then makes their purchase decision or not. So it is important to understand that, and it will help us with ranging, with all manner of subjects that we've already just touched on. So the good news is we do have a solution for this, and this is what we've been working hard on developing. So our range enhancement solution, or RESolution for short, is an insight tool which captures a shopper's eye view, key attributes of a category, and the ranges and products within it, covering the major UK retailers. And it's been really great. We've used this before in understanding different categories and working with different categories. So confectionery and cereal, in all manner of different other categories, we have implemented the principles of this. So we wanted to formalize it and really bring it to as many businesses as we possibly could. I've already talked about why we've used spirits as a case study. So we hope that you can, for those that aren't here from the spirits world or aren't looking at this from the spirits world, we hope that you can get some learnings from this you can apply to your categories. And of course, we're here to help as well in those instances too. So what we've done, we've looked at 14 standard metrics and 16 additional metrics across over 2,500 SKUs to give us a really good clarity on things like price, which is sort of standard metrics, name, brand, those kinds of things. But then we can look at kind of more unusual, different kind of elements as well, which are in our sort of additional metrics. And that kind of gives us that kind of granularity, that view of different things which are in the category and which potentially aren't in the category. And we've looked at that across these 6 major spirits subcategories. We've done online audits and in-store audits, and this gives us the shopper's eye view. So whatever a shopper's seeing is what we're recording essentially. And we've got over 77,000 data just from this study. So it's been a big one, but there's a lot of value in that. So I'm going to pass you over to Dave, who's going to talk to you about some of the value that you can take from it. Of course, we've only got a relatively short time with you all, so we can't go through absolutely everything. But if you have got any more questions or you would like to look at this in more detail, our contact details are on the slide, so we'd be delighted to speak to everyone.